this is Jessica, the Sweetwater Stitcher, and I am back today with another episode of Flosstube. Today is Tuesday, August 1st. Had to think what day of the week it was. And this is episode number 54. And I am so glad to be back. I know it has been a few weeks, more than I wanted it to be. I had recorded on an odd day last time, and so then I think I was supposed to record last week, but it's just been crazy with my kids and in and out of camp and all that stuff. So I feel like the summer is kind of a free-for-all, and then once school starts back, I will be able to get back on a filming schedule and back into the routine, so I can get everything back to being organized. If you haven't been able to tell, being organized is something I like to be and do. And so when I don't have the organization, I feel like I am in chaos. So all of that being said, in the next couple weeks, we'll be back to a regular schedule. And once I start back, I will let you know if that's either going to be an every week video or if it's going to be every other week. I haven't decided, and I probably won't decide till I get back and see exactly how the rhythm is going with my schedule. So hopefully that will get ironed out, because I have missed being on here and I have a table full of things to share, and it just kept piling up. So this is like the last week of break, and we have a couple days next week. So just trying to get the last minute things for school, do the last activities with the kids. So the rest of this week we have things planned with friends, and we're going to try to go to the beach one more time. So just trying to get in the last bits of summer before school starts. My son starts on the 10th. So really next week is meet the teacher, there's a parent night, just some things like that, and then he starts school. So we don't have that much summer left. I know some people have already gone back to school, started this week. So everyone, I'm sure, is getting excited. Parents are excited to send their kids back to school. I also wanted to let you know, on Saturday night, I am going to film a whip parade with all of the whips. Some of them, which I didn't get to start yet, will be new starts still, but I have a few baskets of whips that I consolidated to ones that I really want to try to touch in some way. Probably not complete all of them because it's a lot, but work on at some point between now and the end of the year. And I'll go into a lot more details about that in the whip video, but the whip parade video I'm going to record on Saturday night and hopefully be able to edit and either upload on Sunday or it will be uploaded on Monday. But that is coming, and that will have all of that stuff. And then for the next few weeks, I kind of went through and picked out projects that I wanted to work on, and I put them in my new, this is from Punky Pearls. This is her Snap Trap. So I have lots of projects in here, of which I want to try to focus on for sure in the next week, but I'm kind of thinking these are ones that I could see being able to complete during the month of August. So I kind of went through and picked out what I wanted to work on from my whip basket. So I have that to share. Then I also wanted, one of them is a whip, but I wanted to share this chart too. Annie, who is the Proper Stitcher on Instagram and YouTube, she started designing and reproducing samplers, and this is one that I bought that's a sampler reimagined, and this is Clarissa's Garden Sampler. I loved that so much. And then I also purchased, and I started, which when I show my whips I will share with you, Carolyn's sampler, and it's a small blue and green sampler, and I'll go into more detail, but I wanted to, I'm sure you all have heard that she's been doing this, and she is also going to be participating in the online needlework market that is coming up at the end of August. And I'm sure she'll have, well, I know she'll have all of these, and I'm thinking she'll have a few more to be selling to shops and have out. So I'm really excited for her and excited to see what else she has. She has some great vintage samplers and that I have seen over the past couple years on her Flosstube, and I'm sure she's going to be reproducing them, and she loves blue also, and so I am so excited to see which ones she reproduces, because she has some really great ones. Also, Amy, who is Miss Flossie on Instagram and Facebook, or I want to say Facebook, on Instagram and YouTube, she is designing as well, and she has an Etsy shop, and Annie's Etsy shop and Amy, who is Miss Flossie, I'll link both of their Etsy shops below, but she has some designs out, and I have a couple of the ones she's done, along with she has a new fall design that is beautiful, that it hasn't come out yet, but it's coming out soon. And she just did a Flosstube and showed that. So go check out her channel, and I'll put her channel below too. Same with Annie. And you can see her new upcoming fall piece. It's so pretty. And it's definitely going to be on my to-do list of the few things, new things that I'll start, because it's just so pretty. Okay, next up is I am attending the Pep Rally Retreat it's hosted by Chantel's 141 Design Company, and Kathy Haberman is going to be the designer. And I'm just going to share this as an kind of outside of sharing my whips. But we got our stitch ahead from her, and in our box of things, it came in a little polka dot box. We also got, this was all just flat pieces of wood, and I haven't fully glued it together, but this was a gift from Chantel. She's created these wooden boxes, and so you can paint them, you can just put a clear lacquer on top of them. I'm going to paint it black and distress it, and then I'm also going to put something, some sticky board with batting and fabric in the bottom of mine. But they're so cute, and they're similar size to some of the jewelry boxes, so you could do something like that. You could just put things in here. A 5-inch hoop will fit in the box, so I am looking forward to putting a hoop in here and some supplies, and I think I'm going to bring this to the retreat. Also, Kathy mentioned that she's going to be designing an additional chart to go on the top of this for us when we get to the retreat. And this is not a product that Chantel has in her shop yet, but I believe after the retreat, she will be releasing this as a product that everybody can buy. Also in our box that we got was the Stitch Ahead piece, and this is the piece. It's called 4 Seasons Folk Autumn, and this is the first in what I believe will be a series, but don't quote me on that, because it is autumn, so I'm thinking there's gonna be some more. She likes to do the series. It's so pretty. It's on Driftwood by Fabrics by Stephanie. And we also got, which I obviously have already cut all my DMC, we got our DMC floss, and then Chantel, she sent us one of the sticks to put our DMC on, and she had lasered in all of the numbers. So all you had to do was cut your DMC and put it on. And then I want to show you my piece. Of course, I don't have a board here, so I think this will be okay. So you will see in the design, it has a leaf motif at the top. I decided to leave that off, and I'm just starting right here at the circles. So this is where I started my stitching, and I'm going to continue. So mine will just be flat at the top. We're finishing it on something at the retreat that Chantel's creating for us. So I will be sure to share the finish once I'm done stitching, and then also the finished product. But the colors are so pretty. And the other thing is you can see under the line with the G and under this line right here, there's some space. And that's because at the retreat, Kathy is going to show us how to do some specialty stitches to put in there. So we're going to put the specialty stitches in after she shows us how to do those. And then we will be lacing and putting it onto our board for our fully finished. And that's also why her piece is not fully finished, because we're going to be doing that together at the retreat. So that was one of my whips, and that was my stitch ahead project for the retreat. And I'm so excited. I know there are a lot of people who are coming to the retreat. Also, another fun thing that Chantel's been doing is every other week we have been doing a Zoom with people who are going to the retreat. And it's been so nice to get to know some of the people who are going. There's a lot of first-time retreat attendees and a lot of people who are coming alone. So it's nice to get to talk with them. And then whenever they get there and everyone gets there, there'll be familiar faces for everyone. So that's been a really fun thing. I've never done that before going to a retreat before. So it's been really fun. Okay, the next thing, which I don't have the pattern with me, but Carrie, I'll put a picture of it right here. Carrie with Tiger Lily Designs, she came out, actually this is the mini keeper. She made these for our table at StitchCon, and she just wrote the pattern for this. This is for the mini keeper that she has, and this is, well, sneak peek of what's in mine, but she has released this as a pattern. I have bought all my materials to make one or a couple of these, so I just need to put my stitching down and pick up my stuff to sew. And that's another goal for this month, is I want to make one or two of these. And then I have another patchwork bag I've been trying to make. I have my featherweight set up, and all my stuff it's like partially started, but every time I think, oh, I'll go sew, I'm like, I just want to stitch. So it is a struggle. But I wanted to mention that she does have that, and I'll link the pattern below. I've already seen at least 4 people making them, which tells me that the small one is really easy to stitch up and get out. I tried to make the bigger one, and it was okay. I also made it without realizing that she had a video tutorial. There's like a hyperlink once you buy the pattern from her that she walks you step by step making it. And I failed to realize that until after I had made my keeper. And then I also made sure to buy everything she said to buy, so it would be exactly the same. So I'm gonna try it again, and hopefully it will work. I know Sarah from Handmade by Sarah W, she's made a couple of them, and hers look great too. But just trying to keep on keeping on. The next thing I'm going to talk about is my cross stitch camp project for August. And I wasn't going to participate, and then I got my mail today and something came that I thought this would be the perfect project to start. Whether I get it done in August, that's a whole nother story. I don't know. If I'm enjoying it, I might. It's not that big, so I could get it done, but we'll see. So what I'm going to work on is, this is the Tindale Sister sampler from the Wishing Thorn. And I am planning to work on Elizabeth, which is this one. And I had ordered the Ginny Thompson flower thread after hearing Brenda from Brenda and the Cereal Starter talk about how you just used one strand on 32 count. And I cannot tell you how many times I have had this pattern for a while, but I kept going back onto Brigette's website, the Wishing Thorn. Do I want the Ginny Thompson thread? Do I not? Back, forth, and never had bought it. And then after she was talking about it, I'm like, okay, well, that's a good reason, because I like to stitch with just one strand of thread. So I have a piece of 32 count flax, and I am going to use the flower thread, which I ordered straight from Ginny Thompson flower thread from their website. And so I'm going to start this. So the prompt for the Colorado Cross Stitchers camp for August is try something new or do something you've never done. And I have never used this thread. I have also never stitched a Wishing Thorn pattern. I have a few of them, but I've never actually stitched one. So this is a project I'm going to get started today. I haven't even made a post yet about it, so I'll have to do that. But I need to cut my linen, and then I'm going to work on this after the video. So that's my cross stitch camp, and I will put right here what the different hashtags are that you need to use and what you need to tag. And one of them, I believe, is Summer Cross Stitch Camp 2023, I think, and then the other one is just Colorado Cross Stitcher. But I'll put them here to show you exactly what they are. Okay, the next thing are whips. These are in no particular order. I'm just going to go through the basket and show you some things I've been working on. Like I said, since it's been a couple weeks, some have come back in my basket, some have gone in the basket downstairs. Things are kind of everywhere, so I'm just going to go with what I have around and share that with you guys. So I haven't started this yet, but this is on the docket to start. And this is Coming to America by Brenda Gervais. And this is available on Brenda Gervais' website, which is Country Stitches Online. And you can get this chart from her. I believe needle workshops are also able to order it from her now. It was an exclusive chart from 2020, but now she's released it and it's on her website for sure. And then so I have a piece of 40 count vintage country mocha with all the called for colors, and I plan to start this in the coming weeks. And that was, I saw it and wanted to do it, but then I was watching Annie, the Proper Stitcher, the other day, and she's been working on it, and it really motivated me to get mine out and get it started. Okay, the next one is, and this is so pretty. Let me see if I can get a board here. Okay. I love this one so much. This is by Sandy Spencer, and her company is Whispered Stitches, but you can purchase this on threadmilkdesigns.com. And it's called A World So Sweet. And it is so sweet. And I just thought this is so pretty. And I have, under my fireplace, I have kind of some floral things. And I feel like this would, in a frame, would be so pretty. So I am using most of the called for. I think I had to do a couple substitutions. And this is on a piece of fabric that came in a kit from Farm Girl Dry Goods. So it was something she dyed. There's not a name or anything. But I had this scrap and it was the perfect size. So I was able to get the stem, and I need to fill the flower in and work over to the birds and the words there, or to the bird, and then finish the words and the stem, and it's all done. So it's not very much more to do. I just kind of put it away to work on something else, but 1 or 2 nights of stitching, I could get the rest of this done. This is like 1.5 nights or 2 nights worth of stitching. So it's not that big. It is so pretty. And I am stitching this on 36 count. And so it's 1 strand of floss over 1 linen thread. And again, I will link this chart below, but you can get it on the Thread Milk Designs website. And I'm excited. Also, that was her first design, to see what else she has in store for us. This, I had started, I don't know if I started this last time or not, but I saw Anne from 1803 Ohio Farm Baskets. She was working on this because I believe she got this piece from a retreat that Paulette had done. And this is Grace Doth Abound. And I have had this chart and I like it, but I kept picking something else up instead of starting this. And when I saw Anne's progress, I thought, I need to go get that chart and find all the floss and get it started. So I had the linen, which is baked clay by Fox and Rabbit, which is the called for. And I had every single floss except for 1. So I completely kitted this up from my stash, and I had the chart too. So that was fun to go shopping in my stash, and oh my gosh, it's so pretty. So I started in the top and the top middle, and I went over to the right and was able to come all the way down to the bottom to get the grass filled in, and this is all the way to the edge. And what I really wanted to do was get to the house, because I might take this to the retreat. I have 2 retreats coming up, and I'm always talking about filling things in. So I might get this finished putting the windows in to take to Chantel's retreat, or I have a Brick City bare bones 1-day retreat coming up on the 12th that I could take this to as well. So it is just so pretty, and I love Plum Street and Paulette, everything. So I hope you guys can see as it falls down. But it just, when I saw her picture, that is what sold me on, I need to go and do it ASAP. And here's, they're not really, they're on a ring, but they're all nice and scraggly, but look at all the pretty colors. So this is Grace Doth Abound. Then I just started this last night, but this was in my basket. Again, I was watching Annie and all the stuff she was stitching. I was like, oh, I love that. Oh, that's so pretty. And I feel like I'm in a strange mood. Like, I normally love stitching in season and seasonal pieces, but recently I've really been getting into wanting to solely be stitching on samplers or more pieces for kind of everyday decor in my house. And again, I have some floral stuff going on in my living room, which we're kind of redoing. And I'm like, this would again, and I've had this in my stash, and I kitted the whole thing up from my stash again. So I just love this. But she started this for her anniversary, and she was showing it on her Flosstube, and I'm like, I need to go get that together. So last night I was able to get the whole border in. This is on 36 count Winter Brew by R&R. And I think it calls for Heartland, but I didn't have that, so I felt like this would be a good color. I think Annie is using roasted chestnut or something like that. American chestnut, which I have, but I have it for a different project, so I didn't want to use it. But this, excuse all my stuff falling. This is the colors, or these are the colors, which are so pretty. A few of them I had to substitute for something close, but everything I have is, for the most part, I mean, it's close enough to the called for. Most of all of them are the called for though. So I'm excited to get back to this. I'm going to start on the Tindale Sisters today as my camp project, but I will probably pick this back up after I get a small start on that, because I don't think this will take that long either. There's a lot of empty space, I feel like, and the motifs are not that big, so we'll see how long it takes. But that's kind of what my thought process was in kitting stuff up and putting them in this snap trap from Punky Pearls, was I could take this down and have this, and it had like 4 or 5 projects in it, and I could just pick from those projects and hopefully get a good amount of work on some of them. And then when I kind of got sick of working on those, or they were finished, I could put new projects in here. And I do still have a few project bags of things, because I had some other things I wanted to put a couple stitches in on. But for the most part, these are kind of the things I really wanted to focus on. This is the other chart from Annie that I bought, Carolyn Carter. This is my most favorite that she released because I love blue and green. And I am stitching this on 36 count Winter Brew as well, which it was all the same piece. And I had to put a pin in it to show where the top was, because the border is not exactly even, or there's some weird things in the corners. So this is the border. And what I did was I took her colors, and I had some Vicki Clayton silk that I was from another project that I wasn't working on, and I thought, I have blues and greens and tans, and I have a black. I will just pick ones that are close. So like I picked a dark green, a light blue, a dark blue, and just kind of picked what I thought. And so the green is a little more olive than the picture, but that's the dark green I had. And like, here's the light green. And then I have an NPI for a light blue, and I have a Vicki Clayton for the dark. And then I have like a beige and some browns and golds. And then she has a heart in the middle, and hers is like a brown color. I'm going to do it in this pinky color. And then I had a mauve silk for the black, which is for the name at the bottom. So it was fun just to pull some random silks that I had to kind of match what she had done. It's not the exact colors. I know somebody was asking me which ones I was using, and then they ended up going to Vicki Clayton's website, and you can take all the colors and you can match them with a DMC conversion on the Vicki Clayton's website and get exactly the colors for it. She also, I believe Annie stitched this in NPI, so there's NPI colors on there. I just didn't have all of the NPI. Otherwise, I would have just done that. But I was trying to, I haven't really been stitching a whole lot up until the past month from Stash. So I've been trying to use fabrics and floss and patterns I have, and don't get me wrong, I have still bought stuff, but just when something like this comes up, go in, find a fabric, find some floss to go with it. And that was it was fun to kit up, and then it was fun to start, and I want to get back to that to get that finished too. So that's all that's in my Punky Pearls case. And then, well, these are a couple other pieces, and then I have my kind of monthly projects that I want to work on. And I have not quite decided if I want to work on a little bit on all 3 of them, or if I want to pick like one of them in August, one of them in September, and so on, and spend all my kind of, some people call it chore time, some people forget what Chris the Camping Stitcher calls it, but basically what you have to do before you can get to some of the other stitching, which I don't have to do any of this, but I do want the big samplers I'm going to show. I do want to make progress on them. So this was a way for me to know I was going to focus on them. So we'll see what I decide, but I'll show those in a second too. Okay, this one, I have a little more since I showed you, I think, is At Home by Brenda Gervais. And there's lots of people who are working on this. And I am stitching this on a color and cotton. Oh, I know I wrote it down in here. Let me see. 36 count Tea Rose by Color and Cotton. And I don't know if that is a color that she always has. I got it as it was a yard cut, and it was like a special, you could only buy it in the yard from her website like a month ago. So I don't know what the deal is, but it's a really pretty color. So of course I had a giant piece, had a yard, so I could cut it to fit this piece. But I have the whole border done, and then I had started up in the left-hand corner. So I have a little bit of the flowers done, and then I was able to, I have like partial motifs because I was trying to get to the house so I could get the roof, and then I can start on the house. So I can kind of work on some house, some border, some house, and I can kind of jump around that way. So that's how I like to stitch when I have a big border, is I do like to try to get the border done, but then I also like to find my way to some bigger sections so I can do a little border, do a little of the larger, which would be the house. So I saw Elizabeth Ann from Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch. She is working on this, and she got to the house and started on the bricks, and it's really pretty. So I am pulling this out for sure on Sunday, and I am going to work on those bricks if I don't start doing it before then, because that was really tempting to pull that out. And this is another. I know a lot of people say that I influence them, but I too am influenced. This was I've had this chart for a long time. I have wanted to do it. I never could decide how I wanted to do it, but I saw Liz from the Antique Needleworkers. She had started this, and she was changing the colors, and so I asked her what she kind of started with, and then I kind of went from there. She told me most of what she had pulled. And this is on, I think it's 36 count Milk and Honey. It's either Milk and Honey or Cappuccino from Fiber on a Whim. It was like a scrap. So this is where I am. It's not very big. If I focused on it, I could probably get it done, but I have some other things I want to work on. So this will be another to get back to. It could be another good house fill-in if I can get the house outlined. But it's pretty easy stitching. And I, of course, also love Brenda's charts. And she keeps having sneak peeks on her Instagram, and I cannot wait to see what she is coming out with. So, and I have that in my B case that is from Chris Sherman, and this is from either last year or the year before, but I just love her cases too. So that one is a fun one to work on. And then this, I'm pretty sure I started this or got this all together right after, I think I got it together right after, or maybe I already showed this. I don't remember. I did not go back to see what I showed and didn't show, but this is in my basket as well to work on. And this is from For the Bird series, and Christy from Crosshatch Quilts was working on. I know I talked about it because I remember talking about her, but I don't know if I showed this or not. I didn't get any more done, but this is the one I'm working on. I'm using all the called for floss on the called for fabric, and I am going to stitch them all individually, somehow frame them, and then I will put them all up in my bedroom. And I was so generously sent by my friend all of the rest of them. So this is all of them. This is the one I want to do next. That's why I had that out. I love that so much. They're so pretty. So she's letting me borrow the rest of them, but I just love them so much. So I will get back to this. And again, I've been trying to consciously be picking, if I'm going to start, and I do have a couple things that are big that I started, but just trying to pick things that are smaller, that if I spent 4 or 5 days, I could get them completed to where I didn't have things that were not attainable. Okay, these are the last 3 things, and then I also have a stitch along I need to talk about, and I also need to get back to. So the first one that I have in this pile, and this was a new start, this is in my new Tiger Lily case from the Keeper Club, and I'll show you that box in a minute as well. And this was for Sarah W., handmade by Sarah W. This is for her birthday. And I wasn't going to do it because I was really intimidated by the chart. And this is the chart, Jane Hopkins, 1875. Because I'm like, there is no way I could ever do this. But Sarah's showing me her progress, and Carrie's doing it, and I was watching Grace the Paisley Stitcher, and she was doing it, and I'm like, okay, I think I can do it. So, and especially if other people are stitching it, sometimes that turns me off, but I feel like in this case it is motivating because this is so big, and it's more that it's like full coverage, this whole part. So I went and I looked, and there's a lot of colors, so I just went and I went and bought all the DMC from Michael's. When I went to Michael's, I had $30 in vouchers, so I got all the DMC with my vouchers from Michael's, so the DMC was free. I needed to buy the chart, so I got the chart. And then I had bought the called for linen, which is, what is it? It's, oh goodness gracious. It's a lakeside linen. But I had bought it for another project. course, now I can't find it. Hold on a second. Oh, Vintage Sand Dune. And I don't remember if they stitched it on 36 or 40, but Vintage Sand Dune. Well, I had bought Vintage Sand Dune for at home, and when it came, I didn't really like the floss on it, so I put it to the side and thought, well, something will come up and I will be able to, I'll be able to use it. Sure enough, this was for it. So I had the perfect piece. It doesn't look like much. I started right in the middle, and then what Sarah had done, which go watch her video if you haven't already, she went like this way and then she snaked over here, and I just kind of did what I had to get to the border. And I haven't picked it back up to get more of the border done yet, but I need to stitch the border. But I wanted to get over there for that same thing I was just talking about. I want to be able to have some border stitching to do, and then I want to work on some of the flowers. So I kind of want to go back and forth so I'm not just working on the flowers. The one thing, I love this pattern so much. The one thing I do know is that I have to be able to focus and concentrate while I'm stitching this because of the pattern. Like, I don't want to show the pattern, but I'll just kind of flash. Like, this is what, like, it's lots of colors all next to each other, and I'm not used to stitching like that. So I was doing like picking one color, trying to stitch as much of it as I could, and then move on to the next color. But I really have to be able to focus when I'm stitching this, which is why I haven't picked it back up again, because I haven't had a lot of time to sit and focus. But once I get that time, or get some of that time, I will get this back working on it. But this is one of my big projects to work on. My next one was also a birthday sal from Sarah. And I just have a teeny tiny start. And this is the same place I was before. This is Miss Lucy Calcutt, 1826. And I mentioned before, I had started in the middle, but then I decided I wanted to restart it on a different fabric, first of all. And then I thought, I really want to start at the border instead, so I can do some border and then come and do a motif. And same thing, because when I was starting right here, I mean, I could go down, but I had to get all the way down to here to get to the house. So starting at the border, then I knew this was kind of mindless, and then I could go in and do that. And I'm stitching this on 40 count Overcast by Cedar River. And I am doing the same thing Sarah did, where I am changing the border to blue, and then I'm also going to stitch my house in blue. And I was watching Kim, Contented Needleworker Kim, last night, which if you haven't seen any of her videos or her most recent, go check it out. There's lots of fun stuff in there. She is stitching this as well as part of her 6 for 60 for her birthday, and she's stitching using all the called for, and she started in the middle and then she kind of worked down, and I think she's at the house now. So go check her video out. But again, I just love this. And Sarah finished hers, and she showed it on her Flosstube not that long ago. And then this is my third large sampler to kind of focus on in the next couple months. And it is, I'm pretty sure I showed this one too. Mary Ewin, 1820 Queen of the, this is the 2023 Queen of the May. And I just love the border so much. And this was the one I was talking about. I might take this top off, oops, and just stitch the bottom, because this is the part that I really love. I do love that it is the Lord's Prayer, and that's what's kind of swaying me to do it, but I don't know if I want to stitch all those words. So that's why I decided to start from the bottom. I'll work up, and then I'll make the decision later, because I have a lot more to stitch. I didn't get any more done, so this is still where I am, and this is on 40 count Calcutt by Needle and Flax. And I am using the 103s, which I love on the 40 count. I have tried them on 36, and I'm not as big of a fan on 36. So I don't know if anybody else is. I really just prefer them on 40, which is why I'm really stitching this on 40, is so I could use the 103s. Okay. Oh, and one last thing. Have lots of stuff because I haven't been here in a long time. This is a stitch along with Caterpillar cross stitch, and I need to get back to this and get caught up. But it's called Positivity Lifts, and they've released 2 sections so far. And of course, I don't have the chart, but the first one was Breathe and Focus, I think, and then they moved. So this is Breathe, Focus, or no, Breathe, Focus, and then they released the part that's underneath of it. And I will link to their website below as well, and you can pick up the kit if you're interested. And it comes with all the floss, and I'm stitching this for one of my daughter's rooms, probably my middle daughter, because her room is like Lily Pulitzer, bright cherry pink, and she likes these colors. So like I said, I need to get back to that. Okay, so that is all the stitching. Then I wanted to share some haul with you. Okay, let's see I don't have that much, but so one of the things I got was, I did get the 3 tea towels from Nicola at Hands Across the Sea. This is one of them. The other 2, which was Anne Umfendel and I forget, Jane Fittis, I think. And then I got the red box, which had it had another tea towel in it. I sent those off to be made into project bags, so those will be coming back soon, and I can share those with you. But I thought I would keep this one not as a project bag and maybe use it as a table mat or something like that. This is the one that has, this is Ann Thomas with the amazing bird in the middle. So, or I might make this into something else. I'm not sure. So I just left that. I am in the Life is Just a Bowl club. So I got my August shipment, and I had already, it comes with everything. I mentioned I'm putting these all aside and probably going to do them for 12 by 12. Start one, if I do 12 by 12 or some variation. I might do 12 days of Christmas or something like that and use these because I will have all of them at that point. But I didn't start them, and I thought about it, and then I thought, you know what? I'm going to put them all together and save them because they would be a good project to work on, like as a 12-part something. Okay, then I have, this was my box from Carrie, which was from the Keeper Club. And a few of the things that we got in here, I'm just going to share, is we got this cool pen that has confetti in it. We did get a biscotti. We also got these awesome flosses, which I'm thinking of using one. They were custom to Carrie's family. They're all pinks. And this I got at StitchCon, which is pink paper sampler. So I'm thinking about using one of these to stitch this sampler at some point. I don't have any plan yet, but I thought that would be fun. I'm thinking of using Tiger Lily Pink. Then she also had these amazing note cards, which in the box are different designs, and each of them are from different family members. So this was from her grandmother. It was a china plate rose painting. This was poppy watercolor painting by another one of her grandmothers. I thought this was a great idea. This is Dresden plate by her great-grandmother. And then this is a pastel live oak by her mom. So pretty. And she also sends, sometimes she'll send cards, and when she sends them, they're a picture of a painting that her mom did. So that's really fun. And it was fun that everything was like from someone in her family. And then we also got some, this is thread conditioner. Trying to remember. I took a bunch of stuff out. Oh, there was thread bling, which I have on my floss ring that's in my keeper, which has my Sarah, it's her birthday start. I have the thread bling on there, and that was from her mom. And then the thread conditioner and the biscotti. So much fun stuff in the box. The Keeper Club is full right now, but I know she has a wait list. Again, I'll put the links below. She also sells her keepers on the 15th of every month. So she'll have a sale on the 15th. She also, I don't know if it's still open, but she either has or had a 12 Days of Christmas Advent box that was for sale. In the box, she has already said there will be a keeper in the box as one of the gifts. So it's well worth the value. And like, if you get any of her boxes, you know that she packs them full of all kinds of stuff. So you are fully getting your money's worth if you purchase the Advent box too. And again, I'm not sure if there's any left or not, but if there are, go check it out. Okay. Oh, this was one other thing I wanted to share that I got. This is a piece of fabric, and let me take it out of the plastic, from a new dyer that I never heard of, and I came across, somebody bought it and shared it on Instagram. It's called Those Missing Stitches, and this is called Darling David. It's a really pretty color. So this just came today. I don't know what I'm going to use it for, but it's really pretty. So you might check her out. Oh, it feels like nice. The linen feels nice. So, and I think she had maybe 36, 40. I don't know what other counts she had on her Etsy shop, but I'll try to link this Etsy shop below as well. Okay. Oh, one more piece of haul, and then I have the giveaways. So I was on eBay searching around and came across this antique sampler. And I have been wanting for a while. I'm not getting into full-on designing, but I've wanted to, and have in the past, played around with some of the design software. And I thought I wanted to try to find a sampler that would be really easy to play with the software, see if I like how to do it, and just something easy to chart. And I found this beautiful sampler on eBay, and I don't know if you can see. It's very, very thin. It's red and green. It's just a marking sampler. And so I just thought, well, this would be fun and easy to try to chart, play around. I have no timetable. So I bought it and thought I would give it a whirl. So that came this week too. It doesn't have a frame, so I'm trying to keep it in the envelope nice and secure so nothing happens to it. Because like I said, it is very fragile seeming. Okay. So from the giveaways from last week, we had, if you are a winner, I will preface this, if you are a winner, you can send me an email at sweetwaterstitcher@gmail.com with your name, address, and what you won, and I will get this in the mail to you. So the first one was Jingle Bell Baubles, which was the book with all the ornaments. And the winner is Pamela Wiley. Pamela Wiley. Number 2 was Vintage Ornaments, or Vintage Christmas. And the winner is Stephanie Stanek, Staniak. Congratulations. Number 3 was Christmas Deer, and the winner is Kathy Madrid. Kathy Madrid. And then the last one, which was my Snowballs for Sale start, the winner is Amy Huddleston. Amy Huddleston. So if you were one of the winners that I called, if you can send me an email with your name and address, like I said, and let me know what you won, and I'll get those in the mail. So for this week, let me pull one more thing out. I have 2 giveaways. The first one, and the rules for winning. You do have to be a subscriber, like the video, make sure to leave a comment, and you're going to answer the question. I just thought of this one. What is your favorite, and you don't have to write the recipe, but just write the name of it. And if you want to write the recipe, you can if it's easy. What is your favorite weeknight dinner to make? That's easy. I saw somebody post on Facebook tons and tons of crockpot recipes and easy dinner recipes. And I was screenshotting them all. But I always find it's hard to come up with things to make that are easy, that you don't have to spend a lot of time making. So what is your favorite weeknight recipe to make for you, your husband, your family? Maybe you make it and freeze it. One of our favorites is Mississippi pot roast. And I know that you can make that I serve it on buns, and then we do like chips or french fries, but you can also put it over mashed potatoes. But it's a roast with a packet of ranch, a packet of au jus, and some pepperoncinis, and you put it in the and some butter. You put it in the crock pot and you let it cook all day long, and it's ready for dinner. So that's a favorite at our house. But that's my question for you to answer, is what is your favorite weeknight dinner? And I ask this in preparation that school's getting ready to start back for families, and everyone's always looking for recipes to make, even if your kids are not going back to school. So I thought that would be fun. But this is the first giveaway for this week, and this is compliments of Stacy from Stacy Stitches Creative Studio. And this is Eliza's little sampler from the Heart Needle Art by Wendy. So this is number 1. And yeah, I love these so much. And you'll see in my whip parade, I have this one actually, and I have a couple others that are in my pile of things to complete. So this is number 1. And number 2 is the Stitching Bee by Little House Needleworks. And this is number 2. So for this week, just 2 giveaways, and still working towards getting to 10,000 subscribers. So if you're not already subscribed, it doesn't cost you anything to become a subscriber. Just hit the subscribe button. Also, hit the bell to be notified whenever I have a new video come out. Like I said, I will have the whip parade coming out either Sunday or Monday, and then hopefully I'll be able to get back on a regular filming schedule soon. And once we hit 10,000 subscribers, I have a whole bunch of giveaways ready, and we'll do a celebration. So I just want to say thank you to everyone who has been with me on the journey, who has helped me to get to where I am now, and all the friends that I've created through doing this and going to retreats and just the cross-stitch community in general. So I hope you guys have a great week or 2 weeks whenever I'm back. I look forward to sharing my progress on my projects with you guys and seeing what you're up to. All right, talk to you later. Bye.